Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wingcat Sports, and we're getting into hockey talk. Not a lot going on. The finals start Wednesday. I don't know when we'll post this. It'll probably be after I post this. But the finals are about to start. And as we're ramping up into the summer, we're less than a month away from free agency starting, which means some free agency talk. I know we kind of talked a little bit before, but we're kind of going to focus on some rumors that have been going around and where the Red Wings might be focusing. Most recent one I saw with the news of Jonathan Toews coming out of retirement and wanting to make a comeback after 2 years. There's talks to join the Red Wings. Now, there are the connections, right? He can come back and play with both Kane and DeBrincat. I don't fully like that. Again, I said that about Kane when we were going to sign him, that he was too old and he wasn't going to be productive. Really ate my words on that one, as he has been quite productive since coming back. But Toews, he hasn't played in 2 years. And do you really want to bring him back to go play potentially in a line with Kane and DeBrincat? More or less, I see him as your third or fourth line center.
I don't think you bring him back unless you're going to put him with Kane and DeBrincat. I don't think I don't think to that.
So I don't think they'll sign
I think
him.
that would be because you're doing it to motivate almost Kane, and because I think he's pretty dejected that we have not made the playoffs the last 2 years.
We've been right there, though. Right there.
And
but he wants to stay, it seems like.
I hope we do. I mean, as long, like I said, 1 year contracts are fine with me with these type of guys.
This is what he's fine with. He's
and it's it's just interesting. I don't. Jonathan Toews it all depends on whether he can be the Jonathan Toews that he was in the past. If he can give us 20 to 25 goals and 35 to 40 assists, I guess that would be something.
Realistically, as I look at it overall, you're going to have some minor cap space this year. Of your unrestricted free agents, only one I want to sign back, and that's Patrick Kane. He's been productive enough. He was your third best scorer last year. Bring him back. There's not much else I can say about it. Just bring him back. He was top 3 on your team. And I have no problem. 72 games, he put up 59 points with 21 goals out of that, which, again, pretty good for what age he is. Still productive. Following, I don't care about, which is Craig Smith, Tyler Mott, Jeff Petrie, William Langdon. All can go. No offense to any of them. Mott probably would be the only one out of them, maybe, but he didn't play a lot.
And Mott didn't play the way we thought. I mean, the one reason they brought him was to help with the penalty kill. He didn't help the penalty kill very much.
And one other name I left out of that list, Alex Lynn. Not going to sign him back.
No.
I have no problem with Alex Lynn. If they signed him back, I'd probably just be confused as to why, because you already have 2 goalies. But they've left the 3 goalie system they've been running, but give Kosa a chance already. Right. He's not going to play up on the team this year, but
I'd like to see Hall gone,
but
if possible.
They would have to buy him out. Your two main buyout candidates being Hall and Tarasenko. They also could trade Tarasenko and open up some cap space. We will see about that, because apparently Tarasenko ain't the happiest in his situation here either. So we'll see where that ends up going. But again, that opens up cap space for you to sign either a Toews, which would be a cheap deal. I wouldn't really give him much money on his prove-it deal. But also depends on how much money you give to all the restricted free agents, which you will sign, most likely, that being Jonathan Berggren, Elmer Soderblom, and Albert Johansson. We'll probably all get a contract, though they're restricted free agents. Only one out of those 3 I think might not get one would be Berggren, but I think he proved himself enough last year to earn himself a contract and to probably stay here. Outside of that, right, you're going to sign Toews to be a third or fourth line center. Again, unless you're going to pair him up with Kane DeBrincat, don't see the point in signing him.
Nope, I don't either.
So, and again, I don't want to put Toews up on the second line and kick Casper down lower. So,
I as we were saying, I'm not even sure this team has a legit second, third line, or whatever. This is about basically finding matchups, and who's ever playing well together should get the most minutes. I don't even think, like I said, Raymond and DeBrincat are our two best players. Larkin's there too. But like I said, this formula has not worked. We have not gotten into the playoffs for a while.
You've been right there, though. That's the only thing that sucks.
I don't know if they're going to sign an impactful player.
It's just that you're in the limbo, right? You're so close.
How close do you think they are to signing a guy like Marner?
I don't know if they would want to come here.
That's right. I don't know.
Again, you're on the fringe, so it's not like you're a terrible team.
I don't know why you'd want to stay in Toronto either.
I don't think he wants. I think he wants out of Toronto. I think he very much wants out of Toronto. I don't
think he'd mind going to a place like Anaheim.
I think that's been the main rumor. I've seen him going to Anaheim, but again, it all depends on what you want to do. You don't have a lot of cap space this offseason. You're mostly gonna put majority of your cap space money this offseason into Marner if you're gonna go after Marner. Again, are you gonna be confident? Are the Wings fans gonna be patient enough? And if you do make a tiny bit of improvement this year, but still miss the playoffs again. Let's say you miss the playoffs like you did last year, but you have more points, right? Let's say we tied for a playoff spot again, but we're at like 98 points and we miss it. Like, are we going to be that upset again because we missed out by the smallest margin, though we improved? Or are we going to accept that we are in that limbo and we are maybe one or two pieces away from fully making the jump into a playoff spot, into the division? Because that could very well happen next year, where we don't make the playoffs again, but we improve by 10 points.
Right.
It's just how it goes. The NHL.
I don't think people would be happy with that.
I don't think people would be happy with it. But again, you are in the toughest division in hockey, where you have about 5 to 6 teams out of the 8 that are playoff caliber, whether or not they're good or not. Boston might make a jump again next year. Montreal came out of nowhere this year. Buffalo might click like we thought they would 2-3 years ago. There's so many variables in our own division that doing these free agency signings either are going to put you in a deeper hole because you thought, oh, Mitch Marner's going to play great with the Wings, and then he sucks for the next 3-4 years, and you're stuck with a terrible center. Right? You got to calculate the risk because you're going to be mad if Steve Yzerman doesn't sign him, but you're going to be mad if he signs him and he sucks. Right? Like, it's going to go either way with that. And again, you won't blame the player. You're going to blame the GM for making the deal, even though you wanted the deal to happen.
When is the NHL draft?
July usually. End of June, July. I think it usually is. But that is also soon. Overall, though, I think the main people I see in rumors, Aaron Ekblad, which would be great on your defensive line. Put him
he's still a good player.
I think he would massively help, even if he's not what he used to be.
Well, if you get rid of Hall, replace him with Ekblad.
Yeah. Even if you don't get rid of Hall, you replace Petrie with Ekblad.
Right.
That's an improvement in itself. Again, you're not going to be able to
bring up this. You gotta start bringing up some of these younger guys because if you're not making the playoffs, who the hell cares?
Well, you have Johansson and Evanson that came up last year.
Right.
You don't really have anyone else. I don't think Plicky is ready yet.
How do you know?
I don't think he's ready yet. I haven't seen anything saying he's almost there yet in the rumors.
Whatever.
Now, obviously, people want Nate Danielson will probably be up within the next couple of years. Again, how much time and money do you want to invest in people? Long term, because again, Marner's not going to come here for a 2-year deal. He's going to want 4, 5, 6 years, which again makes you invest in your future more, which could backpile again your prospects coming up. Because most people probably want to keep Casper at this point. You have your main 3 that you've signed, and then you're just who's going to play well, who's not. And again, where do you want to put the money? No one on this team is making more than $10 million right now.
Right.
No one. The highest paid player is making 8. Now, you could, again, sign Marner, but that's going to be about between 12 and 15.
Right.
Either you're going to give him way too much money or give him a little bit too much money for your own situation. Which, again, if you want to sign Kane again, you're going to need to give him money. You want to try to go fill in some other holes. That is more money. You will not have the money for Marner. Either you're going to go all in with Marner and hope the team's good enough, or you're going to sign a few guys. and hope that we're good. I see Brock Bauer has a chance for Vancouver.
Okay.
Right? If he's cheaper, why not? I mean, he's a decent player.
Like I said, are we going to improve, or are we just going to stay where we're at? And because this team again is not this team is not a playoff.
It is a very tricky situation that the Wings are in. It's kind of the same situation in which the Tigers were in, except they didn't make the playoffs. Your team is good enough. I don't think anyone can disagree.
I don't know. I don't think they are good enough.
The team, if they are consistent and play well enough throughout their consistency, they would make the wild card. They would have made the wild card this year. They would have made the wild card 2 years ago. The problem is they get to the month of March and they fall apart, and the consistency runs out. You are a good enough team to be a fringe in the wild card, maybe third place division team. But without the consistency, you're sitting in a bad spot. Again,
like I said, the reason that they get it, I would say, is they have such bad marches is because that is when the teams are actually playing playoff kind of hockey. And the Wings aren't good at that. The Wings can play regular season hockey and go through good stretches. But when it comes to shove and teams are fighting for those last spots, they're not a good enough team. Yeah. They're just not. I can't. Every year it's a collapse when it counts, and that just tells me they're not good enough.
Yeah, and again, we'll see. The 10 points. If they got 10 more points, win 5 more games, that's 96. That would have been a playoff, but 2 years ago that wasn't. Again, every year it's going to be different. But we'll see what ends up happening this year. Right. I'm going to end it here, though. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think what the Wings should do this offseason. Until next time, hope to see everybody soon.